welcome back to my channel sa Facebook page and sa currently broadcasts na mga channels ko po sa social media. First, sa YouTube channel ko po, which are available dito po sa mga social media networks ko po dito, no? So, yan po yung mga channel ko na available. And as I was saying, sa mga group chats po namin na involved po ako, I will not be discussing the current issues and concerns and events na naganap po sa ating bansa. Especially the first one is about the Senate hearing with Senator Amy Marcos. So, ayoko muna po pag-usapan yun. I really want to talk about it, but maybe today or tonight is not the right time for that. Especially with the events that are the events and circumstances that transpired. Kanina ba yun? I'm not sure if it was kanina. Yun pong sa House of Representatives. Yun pong pinatawag lahat ng mga Duterte vloggers o pro-Duterte vloggers. Tapos, ginisa po sila dun. I mean, either you're pro or anti or progressive left or whatever partisanship that you are involved in, I don't think, in my opinion, it is fair to be called in a legislative inquiry. And then pagdating doon, may insulto ka lang. Ayoko po mapasama sa kanila. Ayoko po mapasama sa kanila. Wala akong pera para bumiyahe papuntang Maynila just to attend such event or hearing per se. Tapos sarili ko pa talagang pera yung gagamitin. I've been to Manila. I've been to a lot of cities in the country. But all of those places that I've been to, bayad po ng gobyerno, ng DepEd, kasi mga workshops, seminars, national technical working groups po yung mga reasons why I travel. So, ayoko po bumiyahe anywhere in the country or even outside of the country for that matter, na ako po yung gagastos. Wala po yun sa bokabularyo ko. So, I don't wanna be one of them na papatawag nila doon, Tapos tatanungin ako, yung mga pinopost ko dito sa Facebook and YouTube. It's not that I'm afraid. I just don't want to. I don't think it's fair. Kasi, kaya nga, yung punto ko kasi, either you're pro or against the government, either you're a part of the progressive left, or you're the Dilawan or Pink Lawan or Liberal Party, whatever partisanship that you are trying to be affiliated with or you are going to be supporting, for as long as you're trying to voice out your concerns, your opinions, even your grievances against the government, you can do so. Kasi part yun ng free speech eh. It's what constitutes democracy. Your ability to speak your mind, even if masakit pakinggan yung mga pinagsasabi against sa atin. Democracy eh. For as long as it is not ill-intended. Kumbaga, for as long as it is not inciting towards a revolutionary cause against the government through people power or sedition or even betrayal or whatever. So for as long as it does not go beyond that, I don't think you should be reprimanded or even insulted for that matter if you're just trying to speak your heart out. It's not fair. It's really not fair. So anyway, tonight, I will be talking about DepEd Order number 6 series of 2025, which was released, I think it was a couple of days ago, So, yun pong title kasi ng DepEd Order is the Guidelines on the Streamlining of School Forms and Reports Accomplished by Teachers. So, bakit yan yung napili ko pong topic for tonight? It's because it is relevant to our department. Kasi I am from DepEd. I am a public servant within the agency of the Department of Education. So, sa mga nanonood po, welcome po kayong mag-comment, mag-suggest, or even provide your opinions. Babasahin ko po yan dito sa ating broadcast as much as I can. I will try to to cover all of your comments as much as I can. So, let's talk about it, no? Buksan natin. Ayan. So that is DepEd Order number 6 series of 2025. It was released yesterday kasi March 20, 2025. So hindi pala siya a couple of days ago. Kahapon po siya ni-release, March 20, 2025. The immediate title of the DepEd Order is Guidelines on the Streamlining of School Forms and Reports Accomplished by Teachers. Bakit po siya relevant? Kasi end of the school year na. And as far as DepEd Order number 11, series of 2018 is concerned, meron po tayong policy guidelines on the checking of school forms. So mga hindi pa po nakakapag-download ng file na ito, you can visit it in the official website of DepEd, no? Nandun na po siya sa mga releases niya. So pwede niyo pong tingnan doon. So, let's go. The Department of Education has been steadfast in undertaking reforms that aim to cultivate a work environment that supports quality education while taking care of its people. So, okay, let's just continue. Issuance of DepEd Order number 2, titled The Removal of Administrative Tasks of Public School Teachers, and DepEd Order number 5, series of 2024, titled Rationalization of Teachers' Workload in Public Schools and Payment of Teaching Overload. The department has rationalized the workload of teachers by streamlining their day-to-day tasks, setting their official work hours, and providing guidelines for additional compensation for work excess of their prescribed workload. So, diretso po tayo sa number 4. Diretso na tayo dito. Ito kasi yung pinaka-importante na part. Ito actually yung highlight ng DepEd order na ito. In consonance with the rationalized workload of teachers, the school forms and reports to be accomplished by teachers shall be limited to those required for their teacher ancillary tasks and teaching-related assignments as provided in enclosure numbers 1 to 3. So kung ano lang po yung nandoon daw, yun lang po yung i-accomplish ng teacher, which shall be limited. Yun yung term doon limited to those required. Limited to those required. Based sa kanyang ancillary tasks and teaching-related assignments. Ito kasing teacher ancillary tasks and teaching-related assignments, ito po yung nire-report natin sa electronic school form 7. Kung ano lang po yung nandun, yun lang po yung official na trabaho mo po bilang personnel ng inyong school, bilang personnel ng inyong institusyon. Yun lang po ang ginagarantiya o yun lang po ang nire-recognize ng DepEd bilang trabaho po ninyo. Kasi yun po yung official report ng inyong workload sa Department of Education. Yun pong ni-report ninyo sa School Form 7. Kaya nga po, sa School Form 7, yung pong Electronic School Form 7, may part po doon na kailangan mag-conform po kayo. Meron pong checklist doon na kailangan makita muna ng teacher o ng personal involved, yun pong nakalagay sa kanyang workload assignment dun sa report bago niya po i-conform yung report. So, kung meron pong contest si teacher, wag muna po niya yung i-check, yung pong checklist na yun. Kung meron pong report doon, meron pong napapalob sa report na yun na hindi po part ng kanyang trabaho, official work, or official duty, responsibility, or meron pong ni-report, doon po sa report na yon ay hindi po napabilang yung ancillary task ninyo or yung teaching-related assignment niyo, hindi po siya sinama doon. So, pwede po kayong hindi nyo po i-conform yung report. Kasi yung validation po ng report na yon, yun po yung sinasabit natin sa central office. So, kung ano po yung napapaloob sa inyo pong Electronic School Form 7 na sinabit po ng inyong school doon po sa central office, yun lang po ang recognized and acknowledged na responsibility, workload, and tasks ninyo for that current school year. Okay po, maliwanag po ba yun? Yun po yung point nun. So, sa part 7, may nakalagay po dyan, the regional offices and school division offices shall constitute an implementation team responsible for overseeing and monitoring the implementation of the policy. Ano po yung policy na tinutukoy dito? Lahat po ng policies that are involved within the context of the school forms and teacher reports. So, sino po sila? Sa region po, yung ARD po natin, and the FTAD. Kasama po doon yung chief noon. Sa division level naman po, yun pong ating Assistant Schools Division Superintendent. Regardless po kung dalawa or iisa lang po yung ASDS po ninyo na napapaloob sa inyong division kasi meron pong large divisions or extra large divisions na tigda-dalawa, gaya po sa amin, dalawa po ASDS namin. And then yung mga members naman po niya ay yun pong chief ng dalawang major offices, which is the CID or the Curriculum Implementation Division and the chief of the SGOT, the School Governance Operations Division. So sila po yung mga member nila ng magmo-monitor, mag-oversee sa implementation po ng mga school forms and the reporting mechanisms that are implemented in the school level up to the division level. So, sa central office naman po, meron po tayong tinatawag na strategic management strand. Kasi nga po, strands na po yung mga opisina sa central office. So, ito pong SMS, sila naman po ang responsible to overall review, assess, and streamline all of the school forms and reports outside the workload of teachers. So, may mga teaching reporting mechanisms kasi na kino-comply ng mga teachers na maaaring locally made or locally implemented. It could be school level lang na implementation, sila lang yung may gawa, or ginawa lang ng district, or maaari rin pong si division ang nag-initiate ng reporting system or mechanism na ito. Lahat po yun ay dapat po si strategic management strand ang mag-overall review, assess, and streamline. So, in total po, or should I say, in summarizing all of that sa SMS, meron po silang tatlong primary tasks, no? Na maaari rin pong i-adapt ni region, ni division, and ni school in order to religiously comply with this DepEd order. First po, establishment or to establish a data management framework in DepEd to guide the operationalization of information systems within the department, including processes for data collection, reporting, and analysis. Ito pong part na to ay napaka-importante. Bakit po? Ang dami pong nire-report ng schools, ng mga teacher, na kino-collect ng school, ng district, ng division, even ng region. However, hindi naman po dumadating sa punto na ina-analyze. Yun po yung napapansin po natin. Ang dami pong data hoarding, kasi yung nire-report po ng mga schools, data po yun. Ang dami pong data hoarding na nagaganap sa agency ng DepEd, pero hindi na-appreciate ng grassroots, ng field, simply because we do not see the result of the analysis from the data that were collected in our level, sa school level. Hingi po ng report, hindi namin alam anong ginagawa nila sa kanilang hininging report. Wala po kaming nakikitang policy brief. Wala po kaming nakikitang analysis report, or even as simple as para ano tawag nito, wala man ang acknowledgement of how the data was analyzed, interpreted, and recommended for any immediate action in order to address the strengths and weaknesses that were found in the data that were collected. Yun yung pinakamalaking problema sa field. Hindi po ba? Second, convene all concerned offices to discuss and evaluate both immediate and long-term interventions to ensure that school forms and reports outside the workload of teachers are not burdensome to school personnel due to complexity, redundancy, and or volume. Ano po yung complexity na tinutukoy dito? Masyadong vague yung instruction on how to accomplish the report, or masyadong maraming mga interfaces that should be executed in order to accomplish the report. Masyadong magulo yung structure ng pagkakagawa ng standardized reporting system or mechanism na yung teacher na supposedly nagagawa ng report, naguguluhan, paano ba to i-fill up? Kaya most of the time, napapansin po natin, no, even sa Department of Education, sa school levels, ang dami-daming nagtatanong, "Bay, sir, ma'am, nakagawa ka na nung report?" "Ma'am, sir, patingin daw paano mo ginawa yung report." Bakit po ganon? Kasi para sa school level, sa grassroots level, nagiging masyadong complex yung pag-accomplish mismo ng reporting. Second, redundancy. Yung data or the data element that is required from one report is already reported in another report and then is again requested by another program or agency. Nireport mo na noon, hihingi na naman ng ibang office, isubmit daw, tapos deadline mamaya. Hingiin ngayon, deadline mamayang hapon. Yun yung tinatawag na redundancy. Paulit-ulit yung data na sinasubmit, tapos hindi natin alam na yung hinihingi pa lang ng data, hinuhoard din nung naghingi. Hindi rin pala niya binibigay sa iba. Which ends up to become a voluminous reporting system or mechanism. Ang ending, masyadong marami yung report. Pare-pareho na naman yung data na hinihingi. Iba-iba yung reporting mechanism. Iba-iba yung reporting form. Iba-iba yung template. Pero yung data na hinihingi, pare-pareho. Or nagkakaiba lang sa kukunting data. Hininga yung enrollment. Ilan na yung enrollment? Nireport mo na sa LIS, hihingin pa ng division, hihingin pa ng district, hihingin pa ng school. Ang gulo-gulo. Bakit hindi na lang dun sa LIS lahat? And last but not the least, develop information systems that shall streamline data collection and reporting processes across all governance levels. So ito pong tatlong ito, kung si school level, kaya niya po i-streamline ito lahat. Gawin niya na lang pong isang reporting mechanism, much better. Tapos, bigyan ng access ng statistical reporting mechanism, yung mga district, division, regional level. Para kung ano man ang gawin nilang report, kasi hiningi ng central office, mabibigay nila yung report kasi nandun na lahat available. Kung kaya po yung gawin ng inyong mga IT sa schools niyo, much better. Mas maganda po yun. Para hindi po paulit-ulit na nadidisturbo yung mga teachers sa school. Tinawagan si principal, kailangan daw i-submit na ito. So, syempre, yung data galing sa classroom, paano gagawin yun ng principal? Hindi talaga yun magagawa ng school head. So, ang ending, ano mangyayari? Ang ending po niyan, sorry for that, ang ending po niyan, si school head, ang gagawin po niya, i-request na po yun kay teacher. Of course, kasi yung data nanggaling po sa classroom. So, imbes na magtuturo si teacher, kasi hiningi ngayong umaga, i-deadline mamayang hapon, ang gagawin ni teacher, gagawin niya yung report. So, kung maka-establish siya ng isang data management system, o DMS, maka-establish siya ng data management system or repository of all data that can be collected by the district, division, and regional levels, kasi statistical data lang ang pwede nilang kunin Hindi nila pwede kunin yung learner profile talaga Yung reporting lang talaga Yung numerical information lang pwede nilang kunin So kung kaya po gumawa ng school ng ganon, much better. Para mas madali po yung reporting mechanism na gagawin ni school. And sana po, ang ending, hindi na hihingi si division, hindi na rin hihingi si district. Kusa na silang o-open nung mga information system ng school which will be available in their own volition. So, anytime, kailangan ng division or ng district level ng reporting, ng data acquired from the performance of the school, pwede niyang kunin doon. So, yun yung magandang part ng DepEd Order number 6 na binabanggit po dito na ini-encourage po nito na na pwedeng i-thrive ng ating mga schools sa lower level, sa grassroots. These DepEd orders shall take effect immediately upon its approval, issuance, blah, 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 etc., etc. So, nandito po yung mga enclosures. So, the first enclosure is about the standard school forms for all teachers. So, first workload subcategory is the assessment of learners' progress. So, ang report title po niya is Learning Outcome Assessment, which is, I believe, available sa lahat ng grade levels. The class record is available from grade 1 to grade 12. Test results and analysis. So, ito po yung sa quarterly assessments, no? And report on remedial and intervention program, which will be based on the collected TRA, yung test result and analysis. Kasi hindi ka naman po makaka-create ng remedial and intervention program without the data collected from the test results and the analysis based from the test result. However, ito kasing TRA, itong test result analysis is not purely one-factored. So, hindi po siya na, dahil hindi lang talaga alam ng bata yung sagot sa mga tanong sa test exam, sa quarterly assessment, it could also be, not necessarily, could be least learned. Maaaring least learned siya, pero not entirely least learned lang. Maaari ring not learned, kasi hindi inabutan ng teacher na ituro yun due to the restriction of time, kasi naubusan niya siya ng oras or number of days in the delivery of the said curriculum or competencies. Kasi nga, under DepEd Order number 8, using the constructivism approach na inangkor natin kay Vygotsky, yung zone of proximal development, nakalagay po doon that we are not just inclined towards the delivery of the learning competencies, but we must be focusing on what the learners know and what the learner should know according to the progress of the learner. Hindi maaaring, bahala ka na dyan, basta kailangan ko magturo, ituro ko na to kasi ito yung nakalagay sa budget of works. Hindi ganun yung approach ng ating educational system under the K-12 curriculum. Kasi nga, ZPD yung fina-follow natin, yung zone of proximal development. So, kaya siguro naubusan ng time si teacher kasi sa dami rin ng kanyang kailangan habulin na workload. So, not necessarily na yung remedial and intervention program are purely from the results and analysis of the quarterly assessments. Maaari rin kasing multifactored yung issues ng kung bakit kailangan ng remediation and interventions, no? So, which are also reported by the learning area teacher or concerned. So, maaaring si advisor, kung siya kanya lahat, teach all, or multi-grade, kawawa talaga si multi-grade, sa kanya yan lahat, or kung sa grade 4 to grade 12, kung ano yung subject learning area, redundant na, subject na tinuturo niya every day for the school year. And then, the second subcategory is the curriculum delivery and pedagogy, which is the individualized learning plan. Based naman po yun siya sa kung ano yung pong nilabas natin sa assessment of learners' progress. Kasi contextualization po ito ng ating curriculum delivery. Now, excuse me. So, the next enclosure is school forms for teacher ancillary tasks based on learning area, grade level, and or designation. So, ito po lahat, no? So, assessment of learners' progress, ito po yung mga nakategorize. Nandiyan na po yung progress report card ng kindergarten, PhilErie, na hanggang ngayon po, may concern pa rin po ako. Kung alam nyo po na I'm part of the National Reading Program, so, na-voice out ko na po yung concern ko dyan, pero hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin po nila na-address. Rapid numeracy assessment result, ito, hindi ako familiar dito. Carla, ito, medyo familiar ako kasi kasama kami sa NRP about this. Ba't no comment, multi-factored assessment tool, and the Early Childhood Development Checklist or the ECCD. So, lahat po ito, may kanya-kanya pong reporting mechanism. So, hindi na po binanggit dito kasi meron kasing contextualization and localization na aspect na pwede nating i-indulge. Ano? So, kung mas mapadali po ng schools ang even the division level, mas mapadali po nila ang reporting mechanism for all of this, much better. So, hindi po yun siya tinanggal doon. No? As mentioned in the strategic management strands duties and responsibilities, so, sa tatlo po na binigay doon, nakalagay po doon mismo na maaari po nila yung i-streamline lahat. Ano? Coaching and mentoring and provision of technical assistance, ito pong 4, yung learning action cell, instructional supervisory plan, instructional supervisory report, and narrative report for SLAC for intermediate teachers. Ito po kasi teaching related ito eh. So, actually, teaching related na to eh. Hindi naman trabaho ng Teacher 1 ang instructional supervisory plan. Nasa school head naman yan. So, hindi yan necessarily sa teacher. Nataka ako, bakit nandyan sa teacher ancillary tasks? Kung isabihin din natin na kasama yan sa trabaho ng master teacher, ang gagawa ng instructional supervisory plan, anong gagawin ng school head? Yahay! Curriculum delivery and pedagogy. NLC, LCVs, ito po yung mga learning camp. Still wondering bakit para tayo mag-learning camp hanggang ngayon. I am really against that. Curriculum planning, INSET. Ito pong INSET, importante actually ito. Ito pong in-service training for teachers. If and only if yung INSET po, designed po sa needs, sa TNA, sa Teaching Needs and Analysis. Kung yung inset po ninyo, trip lang, kung ano lang yung maganda, kung sino yung gusto nyo i-invite for the sake lang na meron kayong EMPRE or inset na report or training lang talaga sa inyong school, magiging walang kwenta yung inset. Itong inset kasi maganda to eh. Kung talagang nakafocus siya sa professional development ng teacher. Makaka-focus lang naman yan siya sa professional development ng teacher kung sadyang inangkor talaga ang inset, yung training design niya, sa kung ano talaga yung needs ng teachers. So, TNA. Sa Teachers Needs Analysis, o sana yan siya galing. And then, homeroom guidance and management, ito yung mga lahat. Iba't ibang mga school forms na available po na kailangan i-report ng teacher na ginagawa niya po periodically sa isang school year. So, yan po lahat. Napakarami po, no? Most of the time, kasi itong trabaho ng homeroom guidance and management, under sa task ng advisor or advisory. So, napakarami po talaga ng reporting ng teacher. Kung makikita nyo po dyan, ang dami po niya, no? 1 to 18. Ito pong 1 to 18, hindi naman po lahat nasa isang teacher lang. So, ito pong School Form 1, School Form 2, School Form 3, School Form 5, advisor po talaga gagawa niyan from grade 1 to grade 12. Ito pong School Form 5A, for, I believe this is senior high school. Meron pa nga itong School Form 5K. Hindi po binanggit dito, which is specifically naman po para sa kindergarten. Itong School Form 8, from kinder to grade 12, gumagawa po niyan. Ito po yung Health and Nutritional Status Report. School Form 9 is the report card. And of course, the School Form 10, which is the permanent record. Ito po yung problema. Gusto ko nang pumasok dito kasi last part na to eh. Tama ba? Last part na to. Meron pa palang isa. DepEd Order number 6 is saying that it is the guidelines lang ng pag-streamline ng school forms and reports accomplished by teachers. Hanggang ngayon po, wala pa po tayong official na School Form 10 that is aligned in the matatag curriculum. Yan po yung problema natin ngayon. Hindi ko magets bakit wala pa rin. Until now, wala pa rin po tayong School Form 10 na pang matatag curriculum. Ano po kasi ang problema dito? Ang problema po kasi dito, iba na po ang learning area na available within the matatag curriculum. Yung ESP tinanggal na, ginawa na siyang GMRC. Di naman po natin pwede sabihin na, same lang naman. So, doon lang natin ilagay sa ESP ng School Form 10. Hindi po. Ang nakalagay po doon, learning area, the name of the learning area is edukasyon sa pagpapakatao. Absent na siya sa grade 1. Absent na siya sa grade 4. It is no longer available there. So you should not put the grades of GMRC within the learning area of ESP. Sa grade 7, values education na siya. Hindi rin po yan siya ESP. Kasi values education is a different learning area. Ibang pangalan na eh. Binago na eh. So, ang form mismo, ang reporting template ng School Form 10 will not be suited or is not suitable for the matatag curriculum. Ang design po kasi ng School Form 10, and I can speak about this matter kasi kami po ang team na nag-design ng School Form 10 for elementary and junior high school. Hindi po kasama ang senior high school. Wala akong pake sa senior high school ng School Form 10. Hindi ako kasama sa nag-design yan. Yung School Form 10 ng elementary kasi, 2017, nung dinesign po namin yan, nung ginawa po namin yan, nung inisip po namin kung anong ilalagay dyan, kung makikita nyo po, lahat ng learning area that is available within the K-12 curriculum are already plotted in the School Form 10. It is considered as a data element. It is already stipulated within DepEd Order number 58 series of 2017. Nakalagay po yan siya doon. Bakit po? Kasi para kung ang bata nanggaling sa private school at i-accomplish ng teacher mula pag-transfer ng bata papunta doon sa private school, yung mga available learning areas, pwedeng ilagay ni teacher sa public school na doon siya sa box 1 or sa first box magsusulat. So, regardless of the grade level ng bata na nagmula from the private school, makakapaglagay siya ng grades doon sa first box. Gagawing attachment yung School Form 10 or permanent record from the private school. So, kahit sa first box magsusulat si teacher, hindi kailangan na mamblema si teacher na, itong mga learning area na to, pang grade 4 or pang grade 5 lang. Kasi available ang lahat ng learning area sa isang box mismo. Now, the problem is, the number of learning areas that are being released or which are presented in DepEd Order number 5, series of 2024 of the Matatag curriculum and DepEd Order number 10, sumobra po ng 10 learning area ang availability. Yung number of rows po na nakalagay sa School Form 10 will not be able to cater to all of the different learning areas na nandoon po sa Matatag curriculum. Sasabihin ninyo, magdagdag na lang pala sir ng isa pang row, mag-insert ng row doon sa Excel file. Hindi po pwede. Bakit? Kasi if that's the case, binago po natin yung mismong template. Kapag sinabi niyo naman po na, sige sir, tanggalin na lang natin yung mga learning area doon, paano po yung mga grade 4? Na yung printed School Form 10 po nila, nakalagay na lahat doon. Kung sasabihin niyo na i-correction tape natin yun sa lahat, under the guidelines of DepEd Order number 4, nakalagay din doon na any correction made in the reporting template considered as a standardized form of the Department of Education must be countersigned by the school head. So sa bawat learning area na papalitan, sige countersign si school head. Are we suggesting for a large school like ours, na mayroong 3,000 population, sabihin natin 500 population ang grade 4, 500 School Form 10, ang isa-isang ika-countersign ng school head per learning area na iko-correctional tape? Kawawa ang school head. Kaya po, matagal na po na, nung nirelease po yung Matatag curriculum last year, binombard na po namin yung central office. Ano po, maglalabas ba kayo ng School Form 10 na bago? Are we still going to be requested as part of the original team that designed the school forms? Bombarded na yan sila. Sinabihan na po namin yan sila. Yung mga contacts po namin sa central office. Tinanong na namin yan. During the program implementation review of the central office last September, dito sa Davao City, yung mismong taga-central office pumunta dito sa Davao City. Doon po kami sa Apo View Hotel. Ako po yung kinuhang resource person for the review of the school forms. At that time, sinabi ko na sa kanila, Hindi maaaring gamitin ang existing na School Form 10 kasi hindi siya align sa matatag curriculum. Kailangan natin itong baguhin. Ang tagal na po nun. Ano na, Marso na ngayon. Wala pa rin nangyayari. Nag-release ng DepEd Order No. 6, hindi naman kasama dun. Hindi man lang binanggit kung anong gagawin sa School Form 10. Maganda ang objective ng DepEd Order No. 6 pero hindi siya urgently needed. Hindi siya urgently needed. Ang urgently needed clamor ng mga teachers sa field is anong gagawin sa School Form 10? Kasi permanent record siya. Ginagamit siya na official document ng mga bata, ng mga nagre-request, especially for those who are trying to work abroad. Yun nga yung ginagamit nila pag mag-apply sila abroad to identify na sila nga yung mga taong yun. And during 2018, when I conducted a planning conference with all of the registrars in junior high school here in Davao City, doon po namin nalaman na yung mga registrars na nagre-release ng School Form 10, ginagamit nga siya to identify the person who will receive mana, inheritance. It's a legal document na nag-identify the identity of that person. So, napakabigat po ng School Form 10. Hindi po siya pwedeng kailangan na anytime pwede nating baguhin. Trip lang natin, i-erasure natin. Hindi. Kasi recognized po siya. Hindi lang ng DepEd, ng national agency. Hindi siya gagamitin na legal document to apply abroad for Red Ribbon kung hindi po siya legal document. Hindi siya ginagamit for identification of an individual or a personality to receive inheritance kung hindi po siya makukonsider na valid legal document. Kaya napakabigat po ng School Form 10. Tapos, ang suggestion sa field, silence. Crickets. Walang naririnig ang field. How do we resolve this? Magpalabas po sa central office ng immediate resolution on how to address the School Form 10. Mag-checking of school forms na po. Isa pa yan, hindi kasama sa school calendar na nirelease ng DepEd for school year 2024-2025 ang schedule ng checking of school forms. Weird masyado. Sa masyadong pagmamadali na ma-release ang school calendar at mabawasan ang number of school days per year para lang talaga maibalik sa June ang opening ng classes, maraming mga activities sa field ang hindi na-account, especially the checking of the school forms, which is a vital activity by the end of the school year. Kaya nga po nag-release ng DepEd Order No. 11, Series of 2018 eh. Kaya nga po merong DepEd Order for that. Kasi it is a vital activity. Napaka-importante po niya. Tapos ngayon, crickets, wala tayong marinig from the national agency, from our mother office, kung anong gagawin natin sa School Form 10. May suggestion, sir. Ang ginawa po namin dito, naglagay kami ng slash. Hindi namin tinanggal, sir. Kunwari, sir, sa grade 1, kasi mother tongue pa yung nakalagay doon, wala na pong mother tongue, sir. Nilagyan na lang namin ng slash. Ginawa po namin siyang language. Kasi yung mother tongue, sir, language pa rin naman yun. Kaya nilagyan na lang po namin ng slash. Slash language. Yung iba, yung suggestion nila, hintayin na lang muna natin maglabas talaga ng official SF10 yung central office. For now, lapis-lapis muna, lagyan na lang natin ng slash, pero lapis lang muna ang ilagay natin. Temporary lang naman, habang wala pa yung final na form. Para pag lumabas na yung final na form, ma-edit talaga natin siya. Pwede natin siya i-correction tape, or makaka-reconstruct po tayo, at least hindi pa po siya masyadong trabahoso. Yung iba naman, wala, tinanggal na talaga namin yung mga learning area sa SF10, pinalitan na talaga namin ng bago. Ang daming suggestions. All valid suggestions. Ang tanong, standardized pa ba ang form niyan? Can we still consider that as the official SF10? Kasi pag sinabi mong official, iisa lang. Hindi maaaring iba-iba. Paano yan ngayon? The silence of the central office is deafening when it comes to the school Form 10. Nakakabingi na po ang katahimikan nila. Nakakabingi. And if that is the case, then whatever the action that will be taken by the schools in the grassroots level on how they will comply, how they will accomplish the school Form 10 by the end of the school year, wala po dapat silang castigation na matatanggap from the district, division, region, and even the central office level. Kasi hindi kayo nagbigay ng guidelines. So kung ang gusto ng school, mag-slash, hayaan mo silang mag-slash. Wala naman kayong binigay na guidelines from the national level eh. Kung gusto nilang i-correction tape, hayaan mo silang mag-correction tape. Kung gusto nilang tanggalin lahat, tanggalin nila lahat. Pero that will imply wala ng iisang school Form 10 ang DepEd. That will imply wala na tayong standardized school Form 10. That would mean hindi na official ang school Form 10 from the Department of Education. Kasi walang iisang form for that. Sir, tinanggal na lang tayo. Sir, yung laman lang naman yung box ng tinanggal, sir eh. Oo nga. Yung laman nga ng box na yun is identity ng curriculum. Yun yung identity ng K-12 curriculum noon. Na yun yung mga learning offerings or learning area offerings ng K-12 curriculum. Yun yung identity niya. Kapag tinanggal mo yun, kahit anong curriculum na. Gets? Maliwanag ba? Pag tinanggal mo yung mga learning area doon sa permanent record, it implies we cannot identify what curriculum is actually delivered during that period. Kaya nga po, mayroong modified school forms. Nandyan po yan sa rationale. Diniscuss po yan doon. Kaya nga po, yung shout out po sa leadership ni Secretary Luistro, Brother Luistro, sa leadership po niya, kay Yusek Jess Mateo and kay Yusek Ray Laguda, kasi sila po yung talagang tumutok dyan sa school forms eh, para baguhin, i-revamp talaga yung school forms eh. Kasi ang dami talagang reporting mechanism na ginagawa ng mga advisors at ng mga teachers noon. Kaya ni-revise, minodify yan, tinawag siyang modified school forms. Shoutouts po sa kanila, ang galing-galing nyo po talaga. Promise, ako po, saludo po ko sa inyo, yung pakakagawa po ninyo ng pag-modification ng school forms. And of course, sa current ASEC ng Planning Policy and Management and Evaluation, Monitoring and Evaluation, ASEC Roger Masapol, and then sa retired po na personnel na from DepEd Central Officer Jonathan Diche, na kasama po namin na nag-design ng school forms sa 3 workshop po namin sa SFRT na all throughout the Philippines po, nag-field testing talaga kami. Kinuha namin yung voices, yung opinions, yung comments, suggestions ng mga teachers during that time, noong 2017. Kinuha po namin talaga yon. Kumbaga, kung ano yung voice ng teachers, yun yung ilagay namin sa form para maisa siya, ma-standardize siya. Ang ending, ngayon, wala. Medyo, I am truly disappointed. I am very, very disappointed sa mere fact na walang kahit anong binanggit mula sa central office on how to address the school Form 10. Kung magkakanya-kanya tayo, anong gagawin natin sa checking? Kailan mag-checking? Ano ba talaga? Kala ko, one DepEd tayo. O ba tayo magkakanya-kanya? Sana po maglalabas nga ang central office niyan. Hindi. Marami pong reporting mechanisms ang DepEd, ang teachers na kailangan i-accomplish. School forms po, kung gagalawin niyo po yan, make sure po may dahilan. Kasi modified na yan eh. Kung i-modify mo yung modified, anong bagsak niya? Modified school forms na nga siya eh. I-modify mo pa yan, modified school forms, modified squared. ang tingnan po natin yung ibang pong teaching reports na ina-accomplish ng mga teachers per learning area. Kasi ang nangyayari sa field, bawat learning area officer or officer in charge or coordinator or whatever you call that title, may kanya-kanya silang template kung anong gusto nilang makuhang report from the classroom. Yun po ang unahin po ninyong streamline. Kung ano lang ang kailangang kunin na report per learning area. Para po, isahan lang. Yung GSA, yung PL, yung computation niya, diniscuss ko na rin yan. I really don't agree with how you compute the GSA. Yung GSA computation po ninyo is homogeneous. It is assuming na lahat ng mga bata bright. E paano kung hindi? Magiging hindi credible yung GSA. May post po ako dyan dito sa Facebook ko. Meron pa akong illustration kung bakit nagiging erroneous ang interpretation ng GSA. That's why I suggested na sana percentile ang gamitin natin. Kung paano i-compute yung GSA. Percentile yung gamitin natin na formula. Hindi lang yung mean. Puro mean. Yan na lang yung basic statistics na kinukuha natin parati. Puro mean, which is basically an average. Naku! Paano natin i-interpret yung mga performance talaga ng bawat opisina or bawat teacher? It would be unfair kung ganun yung magiging yung application na ginagamit natin. So sana po, kung mag-streamline talaga tayo, tingnan nyo po yung ginagawa outside the school forms. Kasi hindi ko po alam paano nyo i-modify yung modified school forms. Napakaliit na nga nung data na kinuha dun eh. And walang redundancy of data sa modified school forms. Dun sa ibang mga reporting systems na hinihingi sa mga teachers. Yun po muna ang tingnan natin. Bago po natin tingnan yung mga existing na ni-ratify na ni DepEd Central Office, especially sa time ni Brother Yusek, Secretary Brother Luistro, and sa time ni Secretary Briones. Kasi yun po yung mga time na nagkaroon ng modifications sa school forms. Ngayon po na time na to, nako, wala pa ko naririnig na maganda. So kung paano natin i-streamline itong reporting mechanism natin under the matatag curriculum. So, I'm just voicing out my concern. This is my opinion. Personally, this is my opinion as part of the team that designed the school forms, as part of the school forms re-engineering team, Group 2, Phase 2. Kami po yan. Kami rin po ang part ng original team na nag-study ng workload balancing issues ng mga teachers sa field. Kami rin po yung una na nandun. 2018 po yan. Kami po yung una na nandyan na nag-study sa workload issues ng mga teachers. So, alam po namin yan. Kami po yung sa SFRT 3 na kasama po dun sa issues ng mga teachers. And as everybody knows, I am a pro-teacher. Advocate po ko ng mga teachers when it comes to efficiency and effectiveness in the classroom, especially in the reporting systems that are being facilitated and accomplished by our teachers in the field. So yan lang po. Don't take it against me. This is all my opinions, concerns, and of course, based on experience as someone who has designed a number of forms already and being implemented in our agency. Yan lang po. Maraming salamat sa panunood. Kung meron po kayong comments, suggestions, and concerns, you can always comment it here sa Facebook page ko po, dito sa video na to, or sa YouTube account ko po, which is also published sa ISF Media na channel ko po. Yan lang po. Maraming salamat sa panonood. This is Sir Weds from ISF Media. Maraming salamat at magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.